folks, and welcome back. I'm back at it again, and this time with a voiceover. So we are currently in our rough draft. So I am cutting out 4 sheets of paper out of the Strathmore drawing pad, so that's our nice paper. And we're using that because we're going to be a little abusive to our paper, and we want to make sure that it can hold up to what we throw at it. So you can use a ruler. I use a cutting mat that has been stained with red paint. You do you, but this works for me. I just prefer it. It's just small and fits in my kit. And then if you want to use your cork back ruler, you're more than welcome to do that. That's probably a better approach, but I've been using that little cutting mat for years, and then I'm just drawing a pencil line, and then I'm cutting that out. And keep in mind, you can cut this out with an X-Acto knife, but I'm actually terrified of X-Acto knives, and I have very little dexterity skills in my fingers, so it's actually more helpful to use scissors for me, but you do what works best. And here's a diagram of how we're cutting that, so feel free to pause on that if needed. But we're going to need 8 little sheets of paper, so you'll need to cut down 2. So I'm going to throw away those little scraps, and I am going to start hacking at this, and we'll get ready momentarily to dive into the practice. So you've noticed already that things flow in a certain order in this class. We're always going to have a warm-up, then we have what's called a rough draft, then after that is the mid-crit, and then even after the mid-crit there's one more, and that's called final submission. And this formula will be followed. The term mid-crit is very much an architecture thing. When I started teaching art, I realized that, but it just means middle critique. It's our halfway checkpoint, and then the rough draft and warm-ups are just practice for you. And the final submission, of course, is the final, and your final submissions are worth 60% of your grade, but I want you to relax and just know that if you meet the requirements on the rubric, I'm usually very generous with my grading, and I want you to learn. Okay, so here I am just picking out some plants. For this exercise here, you'll either need plants or you can go outside and use trees. If you want to do a different form of life, I'm okay with it. Just run it by me. But we need to be drawing from life. We cannot, absolutely cannot, draw from a photo. We'll do that later, but for this, I want you to start seeing things and interpreting that into line work. All right, so I have some propagations here. I'm a big propagation guy, mainly because I'm really cheap and I don't want to go to Home Depot and pay for a new plant. So I have these 2 plants, this Christmas cactus and then that ZZ plant all over my house. But I'm just laying these down and I'm going to sketch them. You do not need to sketch propagations. Paint. Also, side note, it's debated whether this is painting or drawing, and that's a discussion for another day, but I just wanted to let you know that. I'm just showing you my supplies, and I have my little setup to my left of my Christmas cacti propagations, cacti because it's plural, I believe, and then I am just getting my brush ready. And then in a few moments, I'm going to speed this video up and show you what's going on. So you'll need 8 of these, and I'd like you to accomplish a few of the following concepts. Value, I want to see solid black lines for your outlines, okay? And then I want to see a lighter value, which will be more of a gray, and that will be for shade and shadow. And then on top of that, we'll have variation in line work. So line is one of the main concepts here, and that's simply just really it's the basis of all things graphic design, less fine art, but it is just a strike on a page that communicates a certain shape or form. So you can see here I have my line, I'm drawing the roots, and then I am holding the brush. I told you earlier there are exceptions to this. If your brush is a little smaller, you are welcome to hold it a little closer to the front, but you're not supposed to, and please don't hold it like you would a normal pencil. So I am just sketching these out, and keep in mind this medium is meant to be very loose, and if you're somebody who likes perfection, I want to tell you it is okay to let go and for things to not be perfect. Is this exactly perfect? Nope, and it shouldn't be. We are using a brush made of horsehair on a piece of bamboo. If we wanted this to be precise, we would be using a mechanical pencil, a ruler, and we would have some sort of grid set up. But here I'm just coloring it in with my dirty paint water, and off to the next one. So I like to dip my ink when I need a solid one in just my little black jar, and then when I want value, I just dip it in my dirty paint jar, and it gives me a light shade, which is totally fine. Okay, round 2. So you can see here, oops, my line is a little bumpy, but guess what? We do not care because we are here for the process and to learn, and we are just practicing sketching here. I am arranging a little still life to the left, and I'm having fun with it. You can see it's loose. I'm doing variation of line work, and we want that variation. It's totally up to you on how that variation shows, but this totally reminds me of the artist Matisse. So I'd like you to do a quick Google of Matisse, M-A-T-I-S-S-E, line drawing, and browse that a little bit because it totally will help you. But the reason we're doing this assignment is to get you comfortable with being uncomfortable. And for many of us, that is way out of our comfort zone, and that's fine. That's why we're here. We're here to learn new techniques, and I want you to adopt confidence. And the biggest thing I want you to take away from this is I can and I will. Yes, the first couple ones might be bumpy, but you can and you will totally slam dunk this. And I want you to turn your brain off and just do it. If you think it looks ugly, then go ahead and take another step. There is absolutely nothing wrong with submitting more than the project requirements. I will look at it all and I will grade the best. And then here I am just adding a little background to it to make it pop. I thought this looked good. I saw some prints recently online that were similar to this. And you're welcome to add value in any way, whether that's coloring the background and leaving the items white, in this case plants. That's up to you. I won't dictate that. Okay, all right, and you'll see I'm using my drawing board here. I use that as a surface so I don't destroy my table. And then my next one, I'm going to do this little baby bouquet of flowers I picked out front by my mailbox. I have one of the ugliest lawns in town, but it's okay. I'm working on xeriscaping and doing drought-wise plants this summer, and currently building a fence, which I will paint murals on, and I will show you that. I'll send y'all an email with what shakes out with those murals, but it will be a cool theme about Utah. Okay, so do you see here how I penciled out that vase? And I penciled out that vase by using my dirty dishwater. Well, not dishwater, but cup water, you know what I'm talking about. And that just helps me because it's more of a complex shape and I want to get it right on my first go. And so I just use that to pencil it out, and then I'll come in later with a more solid ink. Okay, and then I am just being very light and gentle here and having fun with it. So I am looking at my flowers, then looking back at my paper, and I am just simply drawing what I see. There's quite a few big important flowers, so I'm drawing those first, and I am just simply capturing the essence here. They have a lot of little frills on them, and you'll notice in some areas they have a little pollination tip. On the tippy top of this paper, I just drew a little dot to represent that. And as I go through, I am just being quick, gentle, and just taking the pressure off myself and telling myself, you know what, hey, it's okay if this doesn't turn out perfect. I don't need it to turn out perfect. I'm here to improve my skills as an artist, and this is a Drawing 1 class, and by no means are we expecting or should we see perfection. We want to see progress and development, and I want you to be confident with the skills you're gaining. Okay, so you will do 8 of these, and you see how I filled the page nice and neat? I'd like you to do that as well and have fun with it. And like I said, incorporate some sort of value in this, and if anything comes up, any questions, you can shoot me a message on Canvas inbox, and we can set up a Zoom, or I can simply reply with a message. Thanks.